Hello, I'm Lara Kulchersen and this is Newsfeed, your dose of what people are talking about online. The United Nations has condemned a rise in attacks on Palestinians in the occupied West Bank. This comes after Israeli forces killed 2 Palestinian children and illegal settlers set fire to a mosque.
Such attacks on places of worship are completely unacceptable. We have and will continue to condemn attacks by Israeli settlers on Palestinians and their property in the West Bank. Israel, as the occupying power, has a responsibility to protect the civilian population and ensure that those responsible for these attacks, including this attack on a mosque and the spray painting of horrendous language on a mosque, be brought to account.
Settler attacks in the occupied West Bank have hit record highs, according to the UN. In October, there was 264 attacks on Palestinians, the highest monthly total since 2006. Israeli settlements on Palestinian land have long been considered illegal. Yet, Tel Aviv has repeatedly expanded its territory and provided tactical shields for illegal settlers to grab land and intimidate Palestinians.
When is this going to stop? Some of these settlers have dual citizenship to the United States. So there has got to be some way that they can be held accountable. Not only are they burning homes, killing people, assaulting people, they're destroying crops, olive trees.
Do they ever rest? Do they just have like certain time slots of like, okay, this group go here, this group go here, we're gonna set fire to this truck, we're gonna set fire to this car, we're gonna steal the livestock, we're gonna destroy the homes of the Palestinian people, we're gonna set fire to these lands over here.
Settler violence against Palestinians has exploded since October 7th. It's more frequent, more brutal, and more daring. But here's the key. It's not just tolerated by the state. It's funded, armed, and legitimized by it. Thousands of weapons have flooded the settlements. Settlers now wear uniforms, carry M16s, because no one is held accountable. The state doesn't punish settlers, it rewards them. Cabinet decisions handed control of 60% of the West Bank, Area C, directly to Israeli authorities. The mission is clear: expel Palestinian communities, demolish their homes, starve their flocks, and pave the way for formal annexation.
Meanwhile, despite the truce, Israel continues to attack Palestinians in Gaza and flatten neighborhoods. Fresh allegations have emerged that Tel Aviv has demolished more than 1,500 buildings in areas that it controls under the so-called Yellow Line.
Behind me is the bulldozers and the Israeli tanks still moving, demolishing homes and erasing places in Gaza Strip despite what they call ceasefire. For your information, during the first phase of the ceasefire, they created something called the Yellow Line. About 58% is under the Israeli control, about 48% is for the Palestinians. And these tanks and bulldozers are entering the 42%, demolishing more lands and more homes every day. They're even bragging about it and photographing it. They're not worried, they're not scared of any international, anything, any international reaction against this. They are violating the ceasefire every single day and they are lying to you.
In the aftermath of the war and continued Israeli aggression, many Gazans are trying to rebuild their lives. Social media feeds offered some rare moments of happiness as videos of Gaza's class of 2024 shared their examination results. Italy has launched an investigation into shocking claims of so-called sniper safaris during the Bosnian War. Prosecutors in Milan are looking into allegations that Italians and other foreign groups paid Bosnian Serb soldiers for trips to Sarajevo, where they shot at civilians during the city's 4-year siege. Between 1992 and 1996, at least 11,000 people were killed in the city. While Serbia denies any involvement, investigators believe Serbian intelligence services knew about the tourist-killing trips. The Italian news agency ANSA reports that a former Sarajevo mayor sent a case file to the Milan prosecutor's office about rich foreigners engaged in inhumane activities.
With different rates being charged to shoot men versus women versus kids. And the BBC is reporting that Italians and other rich people around the world with a penchant for weapons and psychopathy, that is not a quote, are alleged to have paid large sums, up to like $100,000 in today's terms, to shoot at civilians in Sarajevo.
A lot of this information came from a Bosnian military intelligence officer who met with an Italian journalist. The Bosnian officer began hearing about these safari wars in late 1993 and ended up telling an Italian journalist.
And the person he told that to was named Ezio Gavazzeni, and he was working on these safari killings and trying to find a connection. But his biggest lead was in 2022 when he saw the documentary Sarajevo Safari. It was actually directed by a Slovenian man named Milan Županic, and he alleged that those involved in the safari killings came from a lot of different countries, including the US, Russia, and Italy. It's alleged that over 100 people took part in the safari snipers, paying over 100,000 euros to partake in these sick games.
And at least 100,000 people were killed during the war, with Bosniaks, Bosnian Muslims, being the primary targeted by both Serbs and Croats. The Srebrenica genocide is one of the worst crimes in recent history, and you can still see all of the bullet holes in the buildings when you visit Bosnia and Herzegovina. This is also a great reminder that the ICJ has always been a failure and not used for actual justice, and that it found that Serbia had not committed genocide. It did, however, find that Serbia had failed to take all measures within its power to prevent the genocide in Srebrenica.
People just don't believe this, and it's just mind-blowing because this is still happening today. Like, for people that think this is not happening in war-torn regions right now, especially in Gaza, people just want to turn a blind eye to it when there is clearly a pattern here that people can be horrible. People will absolutely exploit civilians during wartime.
The BBC has formally apologized to US President Donald Trump, but it has stopped short of paying up. The network admitted that an edited Panorama documentary episode created the mistaken impression that Trump directly called for violence in his January 6, 2021 speech. It pulled the 2024 program and says it won't air it again. But the apology didn't come with the billion-dollar compensation Trump's lawyers demanded. The fallout has already claimed two of the BBC's top brass, Director General Tim Davie and Head of News Deborah Turns. They both resigned over the scandal on Sunday. The BBC argues it had no case to answer. It says the episode never aired on US channels, didn't harm Trump as he was re-elected soon after, and that the clip in question was simply an edit to shorten his speech, not a deliberate attempt to mislead.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you, and we fight. We fight like hell. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
The apology came just hours after another edited clip surfaced, this time from the Newsnight program broadcast in 2022. It's also been accused of editing Trump's words. It has reignited the old debate in the UK about the BBC's impartiality and whether public trust in the broadcaster can ever fully recover.
Lefties are having a full-blown meltdown that he would even dare challenge their sacred state broadcaster. And patriots are saying, finally, someone's holding them accountable. And when you read the actual legal letter, his lawyer said it's devastating. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't a bad edit. This was a deliberate, malicious, fabricated hit piece published by an organisation that is funded by the public yet completely immune from public scrutiny. Now, of course, some people are crying that this lawsuit might take money from the British public because the BBC is publicly funded. But let's be honest, the BBC already takes money from the public, millions, and then uses that money to lie to you, demonise anyone outside their bubble, and pump out political propaganda dressed up as journalism. And knowing Trump, if he actually wins this case, I wouldn't be shocked if he turns around and reinvests it back into the British people somehow. You know, the same way that he's giving Americans $2,000 rebate checks from the tariff success.
Since returning to the White House, Trump's been on a legal warpath with the media over their coverage of him. He settled with both CBS and ABC News after they agreed to pay out large amounts. And he's sought to take legal action against the New York Times. ChatGPT is facing some of its most serious accusations yet. 7 lawsuits filed in California claim the AI chatbot acted as a suicide coach, leading to several mental breakdowns and even deaths. The filings accuse OpenAI of wrongful death, assisted suicide, negligence, and more. Each plaintiff reportedly began using ChatGPT for everyday help before it allegedly turned into a manipulative presence, posing as a friend and emotional support system. Instead of urging people to seek real help, it reinforced harmful thoughts and even encouraged self-harm in some cases. All users named in the suit reportedly used ChatGPT 4.0. The filings say OpenAI rushed its launch despite internal warnings and put engagement ahead of safety. The company says ChatGPT is trained to recognize distress, de-escalate conversations, and guide users to real mental health help. OpenAI's founder Sam Altman said AI chatbots, in their current state, shouldn't replace human mental health providers. But many people continue to use ChatGPT like a therapist or life coach.
AI chatbot platforms like Character AI and ChatGPT killing children and young people, killing people in a matter of days and weeks.
Yes. This doesn't take years like social media.
Right.
These kids don't have a chance. This takes weeks.
Today, there were multiple lawsuits filed against OpenAI. Families across the country, across multiple countries, are suing for personal injury and psychosis. 4 of these families lost their children, and they blame ChatGPT.
Got 6,500-page, 2-year spanning transcripts. Every time you look at these things, it's surreal. You have to see it to believe it. Like, the common experience is ChatGPT, your work says you got to use it. Your school says you should use it. And the advertisements are saying, hey, this is it. This is going to change our lives for the better. I would go out and buy my children packs of Marlboros, cartons of Marlboro cigarettes.
Right.
Give me the choice, please, God. Give me the choice between ChatGPT and cigarettes. Please. I will choose cigarettes every single time. That's the reality.
And that's our show. Find our latest stuff on YouTube and do subscribe to our channel. See you soon.